All right, segment 2 of Archer Monologues. We know it's the same date as it was in the last show. All right, September. You need an official announcement. Okay, September the 12th, 2016. Part 2. Let's think about this just for a second. Where was I? What was I ranting about? Oh, yeah, 9/11. I devoted a whole segment to 9/11 and other things that are probably in similar relationship to that, like dress codes. I have to get that one in there. That's my pet project. I'd like to see dress codes abolished in this country because they don't belong here. They're illegal. All right, let's put it this way. They're anti-freedom, anti-nature, anti-American, anti-humanity. They're totalitarian, authoritarian, police state bullshit. And if you're submitting to them, you're a wimp. Don't tell me you're free if you don't stand up to these bastards. Don't tell me you're free if you can't wear what you want. If you as a student, and I'm talking to you students in this particular point, is that if you're a high school student in America attending public school, why would you do that? I mean, you're just proving you're not very mature by submitting to tyranny, by allowing the school boards and the public educational system in this country, you're allowing them to bully you. So don't complain because I just told you, you don't have to put up with that. You can be free by simply telling them, no, you're not going to do that to us anymore. And then stand up for that right and exercise that right by going to school wearing whatever the fuck you want. Oh, on a side note, if you don't want to wear clothes at all, you don't have to because you have the right. And rights can't be made illegal. So these laws that, it's against the law to go naked to public school. I'm going to high school tomorrow, Mom. I'm not going to wear any clothes. And your mom says, you're an idiot. You're a fool. And she'd probably be right. Because if you just did that on your own, unilaterally, they wouldn't even let you in the door, let alone on the bus if you have to take a school bus. You're not getting on the school bus that way. Oh, put your clothes on. And then you'll have to walk because the school bus is not sitting here waiting for you to go home and put your clothes on. And, you're not going to. I'm not putting my clothes on. I don't want to. Free country. Think about it. I'm not being unreasonable here. I'm just pointing out that there are, the parameters here of exercising a right are pretty much non-existent. But the actual practicing of that freedom might be a little difficult at first. But, if every student in this country went to school naked, I'm guessing there wouldn't be any dress codes or any crime. What are they going to do? Arrest all 350 students in Fairmont Senior High School? There's probably more than that now. There were 350 when I went to school there, back in the 60s. Oh, I'm old. I'm also wise. I'm also halfway intelligent. The other half, not that half. Not in the middle, not the average. I'm above, intellectually speaking. So, if you want to wear shorts, if you want to wear a sleeveless shirt, if you want to wear a tank top, if you want to go to school without a bra, if you're a girl, well, if you're a guy too. Well, in the case of a guy, if you want to go to school wearing a bra, then hey, that's your business. School doesn't have the right to tell you you can't do that. It's a free country. Come on, can't you grasp the concept of free? I know. You want to evoke the clause, the one that, you want to evoke the exception clause, or whatever you want to call it. No. But it's indecent. Right. I'll tell you what's indecent. Every school kid in this country being bullied by the school boards, by the teachers and the principals and the government in general, telling you that, yeah, you're free, but you can't wear what you want. You're free, but you can't go to school without a bra. Can't show a shoulder because that would distract the school kids, the boys, probably, mostly, unless the girls, if they're lesbians, might be distracted a little bit. Oh my God. You got a shoulder showing there. You got too much cleavage showing. Oh, like you don't have boobs. You know you do. Why pretend you don't? And why let the Nazi bastard police state bullies tell you, you can't hide, you can't cover, you gotta cover those up, baby. You can't be coming to school showing any tits or any cleavage or collarbone or shoulder or knee or whatever. I mean, come on. Of course you can. And if you don't like something, it's a free country, you can say it. I don't like you bullying me. Stop doing it. I was bullied when I was in high school and grade school and middle school. I was bullied. There were bullies. And they just, we're going to pick on you and we're going to call you names and we're going to kick you and beat you and shit. And slap you and stuff and get away with it because we're bullies. We're going to do what we want. And, somebody said, well, if you're being bullied, tell the teacher and she'll make them stop. How did that work out for me? You know what? It didn't work and they didn't stop and the teacher did shit. Nothing. But lo and behold, I should defend myself in the public school system, as I did eventually. What are you going to do about it, Teach? I'm going to kick that bully's ass. What are you going to do about it? Oh, you're going to get expelled for fighting. No, I'm standing up for my rights. I'm defending my freedom against these bullies who are trying to deprive me of my freedom to come to school and not get slapped and kicked and hit in the stomach and shit. They're wrong. I'm right. And you should be on my side, teacher. I don't think the teacher had a whole lot of control over the bullies, but sure had a whole lot of control over the wimps and pussies that wouldn't stand up for themselves. I remember in high school, a teacher, Miss Brown. She was a lovely lady after you get to know her, outside of the school. And I did. I met her afterwards, when she was no longer my teacher. And in school, in the classroom, he's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and I'm the boss here, and I'm the queen bee of the classroom, and you got to come in here, and you're not going to chew gum, and you're going to call me ma'am, and you're going to say yes ma'am and no ma'am, and that's the rule, or something terrible will happen to you. Well, I chewed gum in her class, and she would say to the kid, if she saw some kid chewing gum, swallow that, they're like, what? You can't tell me to swallow it. No, I'm not talking about sex and swallowing somebody's cum. That's another show. All right, but she'd swallow it, and like the poor dumb kid would swallow it. I don't know if it'll hurt you. Apparently not. I don't think anybody ever dropped over dead from swallowing a stick of gum. But hey, well, some of these guys were like chewing great wads of bubble gum, blowing bubbles and shit. Distracting the class. In society, you're allowed, and there would be consequences. I'm not saying that there aren't any consequences for exercising your freedom, because, consequences of exercising your freedom in a free country is that bullies might do something to you, in which case you carry through with the premise of you're free and you have the right to defend yourself against bullies and terrorists and criminals like the government and so on, and they're going to try to hurt you. They're going to try to stop you from exercising your freedom. So it might be a little battle going on there between a struggle between the free people and the slave owners and the slave masters and mind benders of the Matrix and stuff, which is real, by the way. I didn't make that up. So what are you going to do? I'm not swallowing my gum, ma'am, and I didn't. But then again, I don't recall her ever telling me to swallow it. In the first place, if she did tell me to swallow it, I could fake it by simply sticking it in my cheek here beside my teeth, and just, see, all gone. And she would say, oh, yeah, you swallowed it. And no, I didn't. It's right there. And as soon as you turn it back, I'm going to start chewing it again. Fuck you. You're not the boss of me. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you've been told. And I don't care what anybody said. No, you're not. You're a teacher. Do your job and shut up about what I'm wearing and about whether I'm chewing gum or not. I mean, if I'm making a lot of noise and popping bubbles in my bubble gum in class, come on. You don't need a teacher to tell you that that's annoying. Stop doing that. There are consequences. Be responsible for your actions. But for the love of God, at least acknowledge that you have the freedom to do as you please. And acknowledge the responsibility of the consequences of doing something that other people may not like. As far as the government not liking it, fuck them. They're the government. They work for you. They don't tell you what to do. You tell them what to do. That's the rule. How many times have you heard that? I have not heard that in school. Because tyrants and bullies don't want you to know that the tyrants and bullies can be stopped. They don't want you to know that you can do something to stop them. I think it's ironic that in school I was taught, they want a Declaration of Independence, and George Washington leading a war army, and he's revolting against, hey, we're going to get independence, we're going to be free country and free people. And George Washington is acting like a freaking terrorist by killing those British soldier guys. Yeah, they're right. And I'm not. It's not my opinion. Very little of what I say on this show, particularly, is my opinion. I've segued into another topic already. It is relative to what I'm saying. All right, in my opinion, you have a right to have it, and you probably even have a right to say it. But guess what? You don't have the right to impose your opinion on me. And I don't have a right to impose my opinion on you. Because in the first place, my opinion has to do with, personal things and personal biases. Personal preferences, like, it's my opinion that cooked spinach is yucky. It is yucky. By my standards. And I think, scientifically speaking, if you looked at cooked spinach in the pan, where you're cooking it, it's like, that looks yucky. If you don't think cooked spinach looks yucky and has the physical characteristics of yuckiness, then you're in denial. Words mean what they mean, by the way. So it is my opinion that cooked spinach is yucky. And it is also my opinion that, decision that I'm not going to eat it. And I don't want to look at it, and I don't want to smell it, and I don't want to be around it. I don't want it to be in my house. I mean, if my spouse, mate, partner, friend, lover, roommate, wife, whatever, husband, etc., not my husband, but generically speaking, wants to cook spinach in my house and cook it and eat it and stuff in my house, it's her house too. That's been settled. That's been discussed and resolved. It's like, I live here, you live here, we're kind of equal a little bit in certain regards. Like, if you want to eat spinach, eat spinach. I just don't want to eat it, and I'm not going to eat it because it's yucky. And if you don't think it's yucky, you're just living in denial because it is yucky. Scientifically speaking, it's yucky. The physical characteristics of cooked spinach is yucky. The word applies. But still, it's my opinion. Not the definition of the word yucky, and not the definition or description of cooked spinach. That's an accurate description. It is yucky. Now, yucky may not be a scientific word. It could be slimy. Aha, there you go. Slimy means slimy. That's what, it's a word, it means what it means, and it means slimy. It means it's, what other word could I use? It's the right word. It's a perfect word. It is slimy. Yuck. Just try to pick some of that stuff up with your fingers out of the pan that you just cooked it in. Just pick it up. Go ahead, stick your fingers in there and just get your fingers all in the spinach in the pot and just wiggle your fingers around in there and grab up a couple fingers worth of spinach with your fingers. And pick it up and hold it in front of your face and say, I'm going to shove this slimy shit in my mouth. All right. Disclaimer, I guess. Disclaimer. If you like cooked spinach, it's good for you. Fine. Wonderful. It's probably got nutrients and stuff in it that's good for you. And then there's always Popeye eating it raw right out of the can, that's pretty yucky. Every time he did that in the cartoons and shit, I cringed. I was like, my God, that's yucky. I suppose there were some kids somewhere, like 4-year-olds, were saying, you know what? Popeye's doing it, I'll do it. Okay, fine, he can do it, I can do it. Put it in, just go ahead. Open a can, shove it in your mouth with your finger. Just shove it in your mouth. Drink it like, you're drinking like a cold beer. And just go ahead, try it. See, if you don't gag and spit and puke and everything, then there's something wrong with you. That's an opinion. Seriously, that's just an opinion. But scientifically speaking, it's a little iffy that you would do that. I tried it. It was yucky. I spit it out and never did that again because I'm not stupid and I'm not slow, dim-witted, and I tried it, Mom, and it's yucky, and I'm not putting that crap in my mouth anymore. That's it, case closed. And I was 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever. It's yucky. That's my opinion. If you don't think it's yucky and you want to eat it and you like it and you think it smells good, tastes good, looks good, whatever, if I can, more power to you. If my spouse, mate, wife, companion, live-in person that shares my house wants to eat cooked spinach, and she said, I'm not going to eat cooked spinach because I like it and I want it, and I'm going to eat, and she said, I'm not going to cook it, I'm not going to eat it because you don't like it. That's very nice of her. Consider it. That's, she's like being considered in my opinion. But she doesn't have to, because this has been resolved in my home long ago. If you want to eat it, eat it. Just don't shove it in my face. Don't do it within proximity of my arm's length of my body. Just go over there and do it somewhere else. Please, I'm asking. I'm not demanding. I'm not ordering. I'm not making any kind of law here. I'm just saying I would prefer not to watch you eat that. But I would tolerate it if it came down to that, and I have. She's actually cooked some spinach on the stove and put it on her plate and sit down across the table from me and ate it. Put it right in her face. They're like, yuck. I didn't look at it, and I didn't watch her do it. Well, once I took a peek, like, yuck, yuck, I'm going to gag. And that's personal, and I'll deal with it. No, I'm going to call the cops and report a crime of spinach eating in front of my face. She ate cooked spinach in my house. I want her arrested. That's not as stupid as you think. I mean, people do it all the time. People are always calling the cops. Hey, the cop. Hey, this guy, looked at me, whatever. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Let's call the cops. It's none of their business. It's not their job to freaking put people in jail or arrest them or whatever, come to your house. because somebody in your house is doing something you don't like eating spinach in front of you. It's a personal problem, is what I'm saying. Deal with it. You know, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. You're in the house and you don't like cooked spinach. You don't want to see it, don't want to eat it, don't want to taste it, don't want to watch anyone else eat it. You know, it's your house. Talk to your mate and say, really, I'd rather not smell that. And what? And you know, and work it out. Negotiate something. You can do that. You're allowed. You might lose the argument there, but you know, free country. Remember, it's free country for you to express your opinion. This spinach is yucky, if that's your opinion. It's my opinion. And, you know, free country. Exercise your right. Say, I don't want that. No, I'm not doing it. And your spouse, your mate, your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, whatever, it says, yeah, but I want to eat it. I have the right to eat it. I'm going to eat it. And I got some, and here it is, and I'm going to eat it. Okay, fine. You know, deal with it. Negotiate terms, whatever. It's your house. Share your house with other people. Then you have a certain obligation to be considerate of them and their rights as well. If there are guests in your house, then they don't have rights, by the way. If you come into my house, you have no right of free speech because it's my house. I own it. It belongs to me. My domain. I'm the king here. And, you know, like, you're not going to come into my house and bring your can of spinach in a cardboard plate, in a paper cup, and sit in my living room and eat spinach while you're talking to me because you're in my house, and I don't let that happen in my house. Well, I could be considered. Okay, go ahead and eat your spinach in my house. Even though you don't live here, you have no rights here because you're a guest, and guests don't have rights. They have privileges. This is something people don't quite understand. The reason I bring all that up is to point out that you have rights, and you have privileges, and you have responsibilities. And just be cool. So, in regards to 9/11, it's come, it's gone again this year, 15th anniversary, and I didn't really see that much on the internet about it, in the news and so on. A couple of articles, some I didn't bother really because it's just insanity. The fact that Americans are still pissed off about that because all the freaking terrorists, you know. I'm not saying there aren't Islamic terrorists or Arab terrorists or whatever, but it's pretty much balanced out with a lot of equal terrorists in the opposite camp. Like, you know, there are Arab terrorists and Islamic terrorists, and, you know, a lot of them have justification for being pissed off at America and Americans because, you know, America, in the guise of the United States military, went over their country, invaded it, which is illegal. International law as well as domestic law, really, if you think about it, and they go over there and they murder those people and blow up their children and boom, smithereens, and destroy their country and their homes, and they kill people, innocent people, men, women, children, babies, whatever. So I guess they're entitled to their opinion that Americans are scum and need to die. I mean, that's their opinion. They're justified in having that opinion because the evidence shows that Americans, in the guise of U.S. military soldier people, went over to their country and murdered them. And I think I'd be pissed off if somebody came over to this country, my country, where I live. I don't own my country, I just live here, like everybody else. And I'm not a Rothschild, I don't own anything like the world. However, if you just use your brains, all right? Just use your brain. Use your brain. God gave you a brain. I used the word God twice. That's 3 times in this show already. And don't want to get into the religious aspect of my life and the reality of the world, but Islamic extremists, yeah. I think the terrorists, the Arabs, the Muslims are justified in hating America and Americans, and certainly hating the United States government and its military because, you know, you murdered my family, and now I'm going to come and get you. And don't blame them a bit. But they shouldn't be killing civilians and private citizens and human beings like me and you and so on. And, well, you killed their family, and I don't like the idea of them coming over here and killing my family, but it's understandable why they would hate us. And that's not debatable. Seriously, it's not. I mean, just a fact. George Bush and his devils went to Iraq and invaded that country against the law and used lies and stuff to sort of kind of justify it, even though I never bought that crap. Not from day one. I mean, 9/11, the original 9/11, that day, I'm like listening to this on the radio because I had to go to work and I didn't have a TV. I didn't have an internet back then. I didn't. And maybe I did 9/11. 2001, I think I did have a computer. At any rate, George Bush committed a crime against humanity, and he's still walking around free. That's just insane. I mean, that'd be like Adolf Hitler, at the end of World War II. That'd be like Hitler, like not killing himself and in his bunker, and that's to say, if he actually did. I don't know actual proof that he did or didn't kill himself in the bunker. That's another story. But if he hadn't killed himself, he'd actually been, the war ended and the Americans and the Allies went into Germany and then, hey, you, Hitler, you're under arrest for crimes against humanity and shit. And then they said, but we're not going to prosecute. Fake, we're not going to prosecute. Like Hillary Clinton got away with crimes against the country and treason and shit. And murder, mass murder. She did. She's responsible. Her and her cohorts, her evil twin, Obama. And George Bush. Seriously. It's just pathetic. Alright, did the tribute to 9/11. Won't get into all the theories or the conspiracy facts. The internet is full of that kind of thing. You can do your own research. Google it. Just Google 9/11, see what comes up. Read all that shit. I'm going to guess that overwhelmingly there's most of the posts and blogs and websites and comments made on the internet about 9/11 by Americans, at least. Most of it is like, wait a fucking minute. What the hell are you trying to shove down my throat? 15 years you've been lying to us. 15 years you're getting away with it. And George Bush, 15 years after the fact, he's still getting away with it. He's still walking around a free man. What kind of country is this? That'd be like, Adolf Hitler, like surviving the war and then just being, we're not going to prosecute, we're just going to let you go about your business. Go ahead, walk around. Go live in your country estate or whatever with your girlfriend. And just, we're not going to prosecute you for crimes against humanity. We're not going to arrest you and try you, convict you, and hang your ass. Because, we're idiots and we figure, you ought to just get away with that crime against humanity. Can you imagine the German people allowing Adolf Hitler to just, I'm just going to let him walk around, just like as if he's like a perfect little angel, like a saint. Can you imagine German people doing? I've talked to German people. I know some people in Germany. I have some family in Germany. And they're like, what's wrong with you Americans? What are you, like 4 years old? Like, what, brain damaged or something? What the hell? And they laugh at us, going, you fool. They justified in being laughing at us because we're fools. And I admit I'm a little bit of a fool myself because, I haven't really arrested George Bush either. I haven't taken any steps to see him arrested. I suppose some people have tried. I think people tried to arrest Rumsfeld. Probably got the crap beat out of them by the Nazi bastard police state motherfuckers. You can make a citizen's arrest. Seriously, you can. Because in a free country, you can. All right. So let's move on away from this. Oh, heck, I got another 15 minutes. Just be reasonable. Use your brain. 9/11. All right, how about building number 7? You know, controlled demolition error. It's obvious. I mean, there's nothing even to discuss there. And who does? I mean, who in their right mind would argue and defend the government of this country? I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but the government in this country is sucky. I mean, they're criminally insane. And you're letting them run the asylum. This is not supposed to be a criminally insane mental institution for the crazy people. This is supposed to be a free country where you can do whatever you want. And if you do something like totally inhuman, like murder people in Iraq, you just don't walk away from that. Just, okay, no big deal. No. If you came home and saw me, you know, fucking your wife, and your wife, of course, saying, no, fuck, he's fucking me, he's raping me, no, make him stop. And you're like the husband, and you just walk in there and say, hi, are you having fun there, Mr. criminally insane intruder into my house and rapist of my wife? Why don't you just finish up there, you know, what you're doing, and then get up, put your pants on, and, you know, then we'll all go down in the kitchen and have coffee. What? Seriously? When has that ever happened? It boggles the mind. It truly boggles the mind. Okay, so you got a bank robbery. Walks in the bank, and you happen to be in the bank, and you're a customer, or you're a teller, or the president of the bank, or whatever, and you're there, and the guy comes in, and this is a robbery. It's a stick up. Everybody on the floor, and bam, he shoots some bullets in the ceiling, and just barely misses the guy on the second floor, where the bullet comes up through the floor and goes whizzing by his head as he sits at his desk, considering giving a loan to some portionate. And like, okay, and they rob the bank, and then, you know, they murder the guard because he's like, stop, put your hands up, drop your guns, and they shoot the guard, who's typically an old retired cop that's like senile. I know, they're not all like that, I'm sure. So anyway, he robs the bank, and he walks out with the money, and just walks down the street with the money, and like gets in his car and takes off. And you got him on video, security cameras, and you know what he looks like. You even know his name because it's not hard to find out. And you know, John Smith is like a bank robber. He robbed a bank yesterday, and he lives next to me, and there he is in his house, just counting his money. Well, the money he stole. But nobody's going to arrest him. He's just going to be able to live in his house next door to me and just go about his business and go out and buy himself some nice clothes with his stolen money, and we say, he's a nice guy. And nobody ever comes to arrest him. And you call the cops and say, a rank robber lives next door to me, and he's over there on his front porch counting all the money he stole from the bank. And he's got a ski mask laying next to him there. I know it's him. I recognize him. And he's bragging about it. I robbed the bank and I stole the money. See, I got all this money. I got $15,000 from that bank job. And there it is. I'm counting it. And after a bit, I'm going to go down the road and buy something with it. Buy myself a car or something. Excuse me? How in the world can anybody say, that's all right? But when it comes to George Bush and his gang of murdering bastards, traitors, criminals, insane maniacs, and he can just go back to Texas, chop wood, and be a cool guy. It boggles the mind. It truly does. And I don't understand people. Well, I kind of do. They're brain damaged. No other explanation. They're just absolutely brain dead. What else can I conclude? What the evidence clearly shows that the American people are like not smart. Home of the brave, right? Don't think so. Land of the free, yeah, right. Do you want to give me like 100 examples of how we're actually free? You want to give me some examples of that? Show me. Like, oh, I'm a 15-year-old kid. I gotta wear clothes to school, and I can't wear my T-shirt that's got NRA on the front of it or whatever. They will punish me, and you let them get away with it. They're fascists, they're Nazis, they're police state bastards, they're criminals, they're bullies, they're tyrants, and they're your master. Yeah, they are, and you're a slave. And you say, okay, I won't wear that shirt to school. Just forget about my right to wear whatever the fuck I want. You're 15, you don't have any rights. Oh, excuse me, yes you do. Your age has nothing to do with it. You're born, you're a free person, legally, morally, in principle. I like to say in theory because, in theory you're free, but in reality, in actuality, you're not. And so, yeah, go to school wearing that top with your shoulders showing and your cleavage showing, and yeah, try it. Well, you could do it, and you could actually do it, and no one would even say a word about it because they let George Bush go without, expelling him from the country, which is what they should have done. Immediately after he said he was going to commit a crime against humanity, he should have said, no, you're not. But once he committed the crime, it's like, okay, it's the rope for you, bastard. It's like, you're going to be a tree ornament from here on out, kid. Bring a rope, guys. We're going to hang this motherfucker. I know, it's like uncivilized. Mob lynchings are not acceptable either. It's just the word, the concept of the witches in ancient times, in the old days being burned as a steak, comes to mind here. Like, those people are not smart. The witches, not very good witches if they can actually allow themselves to be captured and imprisoned and tortured and raped and shit. I'm sure the pretty ones were raped more than once. We're gonna fuck the devil out of you. Turn over, bend over, shove it up her ass. Yeah. Witches were raped. Don't wake up. Don't be an idiot. Of course they were. There's evidence. So if you think you're free, try to exercise it. If you can't exercise the freedom, you don't have it. And I know there's a word called rights. People like to use the word rights. I have rights and constitutional rights. No, you don't. There's no such thing. But the word rights applies if you're talking about government and the system. I have rights. When I'm talking to the federal government, for example, I say, I have human rights and you can't do anything about that. If I'm talking to my neighbor, then I have freedom. So, two different words. They mean what they mean. And I would prefer to use the word rights when I'm talking to the government about government things and that system. But when I'm talking about me having the right to, go to school wearing a T-shirt that somebody might not like, then that's called the freedom to do that, not the right to do that. People get confused. They don't know which word to use. Sometimes they just use the wrong word and misapply it or misuse it. And of course, the freaking mind benders have put crap in your head and you believe it because you're duped in your mindless drone of the freaking matrix. The collective. George Bush, walking around free. That's like Adolf Hitler being allowed to walk around free in Germany for like 50 years after he committed his crimes against humanity. Yeah, I killed 6 million Jews. I'm bragging about it. I'm sitting down there at the bar drinking some beer with buddies. And yeah, I killed 6 million Jews. Or I had them killed. Really, I didn't do it myself personally, but, I had it done. But Germany and allies and other countries in the world said, we defeated you. You lost. You're a loser. A freaking maniac. And you committed genocide. And sorry, but we're going to let you get away with it. Would you let that happen in your country? Yeah, I guess you did. Because, you just put a picture of Adolf Hitler on George Bush's face and say, yeah, Hitler, go ahead, you're fine. No big deal. We're not going to put you in jail. We're not going to make you pay for your crimes against humanity. Go ahead, have kids, have grandchildren, sit in your castle and spend your money you stole and looted from the world. Get away with it. Unacceptable, people. It is totally fucking unacceptable. All right. I live for the day when George Bush and his fellow criminals and insane lunatics are put in the ground. Well, hang them and then burn them to dust and just forget them. Flush their freaking bones down the toilet. Am I hateful? Do I sound hateful? Do I sound bitter? Yeah, kind of, because Mike Freedom is affected by this. Could have been me that George Bush murdered. And in today's world, it could be Obama murdering me through his proxy terrorist thugs, like the FBI and so on. All right, go out to the man's house, kick in his door, shoot him in the head. Oh, that's what they did to Osama bin Laden, right? Went into his home in Pakistan, which are not even allowed to be there, let alone freaking kicking in people's door and shooting them in the head. That's to say, if it was actually bin Laden, because there's some doubts about that. Supposedly there was a neighbor of bin Laden in Pakistan who said, I was there and I was looking and it didn't happen like that. And what happened to him? I'm guessing he got arrested and abducted, and disappeared. Because can't have some witness to the crime telling us what happened. They're for reals. The world is insane. Human beings. What a piece of work you Americans are. I'm an American, by the way. And I'm talking about my people. Yep. Because it's a free country and I have the right to say what I want. If you don't like it, tough shit. But don't try to make me disappear. Don't try to, shoot me in the back of the head twice with a shotgun and then call it suicide. How dumb. Trust me, if I am killed, dead, first thing you should do is suspect the government of murdering me. Because there's a good chance of that. Not 100% chance, because I could just die of natural causes at the, ripe old age of 90. Maybe. Alright, we're going to stop here. That's 2 segments in the bag. Going to post those later today for your enjoyment. And if you're listening to it right now, then I guess I've succeeded in posting it to the internet and to my radio channel on the internet. And you're listening to this all the way to the end, which is pretty cool. All right. Catch you next time. Have a good day. Yeah, I really care. Okay. Bye-bye.